manager the manager and the mayor in control of the metropolitan must answer to their taxpayers.
Yes.
We cannot answer to Sandra, who has decided that they want to milk us here on the upper south coast so they can pay for a road down there. We've got no recall to that in the first place, because when the Minister of Transport comes and says, here's my intent to toll, he's the sole person as judge and jury who will decide whether our objections are valid. If there's anything more unconstitutional, it is that. Because he again is not referring to the people. He's not saying, this is a democracy, we want the people to say what they want. And this is what we want. We want any money that's collected within our metropolitan area must go to the development of the metropolitan area. We wouldn't mind paying extra in taxes if they improved the facilities for our disadvantaged people over many years. But why? And why should we pay for what happens down in the Transkei? If anybody's going to pay for it, why pick on us? Pick on the whole country. Make the taxes, say, will you ring fence all the money that's collected for levies and licenses? We'll ring fence that, and that goes only to the development and more and better roads.
Normally, tell us a bit about your experience of what democracy means, working with your traditional leaders.
When we're thinking this government for ours that we vote for, we're expecting to listen for us and to do what we want, not just to put what they want. Traditionally, when we're talking about democracy, we're not just talking about the majority or the minority. We're practicing the deep democracy, not democracy, because democracy is just, even if the majority, they are taking the wrong decision, but they just follow that wrong decision. But deep democracy is just to listen. If it's one person have a concern, they're going to listen. It's what we're practicing in our traditional authorities. That's why even you can hear even in the newspapers, they saying that it's just only the minority, they oppose all this development. But we don't care, even if they call us minority. But we know that our voices are so important, no matter how many we are, because what they were talking about is part of our lives.
Yeah. My name is Chris Serfontein. Being a provincial commissioner in 3 provinces, under the old dispensation as well as under the new government, I have worked a lifetime with politicians. In the old dispensation and the new dispensation. I haven't said it. Khrushchev said it way back in 1954. Politicians are all over the same. They will promise to build you a bridge even where there is no river. I work with them. They are fundamentally dishonest. And I don't care whether I'm on record. I've said this from public stages. You see, sir, we can argue and reason whatever way we want to. There is no, I believe, no other motivation, despite the talks about from politicians or whoever the powers to be, to build this toll road other than the mining. There is no other motivation. They can come up with all kinds of beautiful things about serving the community and uplifting and bringing development and blah, blah, blah. It is about the mining. It is about what they will get out of that mining project. It is about how their hands are going to be greased so that it doesn't make a noise. It is about kickbacks. It is about politics. These people has got only one motive, and that is to have the development with regards to the mining, because of what is being done behind the scenes, because of what they are going to get from this, as it was with the arms deal. And it is only, not only this government, I worked for years with the previous government also. That's unfortunately so. And we have spent some 8 years together in fighting this thing. 2003, 2004, we had big meetings here with regards to this toll road issue. And in the Civic Centre here in Amadiba. And one evening I can still recall, we were there then, there were hundreds of people, there wasn't a place inside, the people were standing outside, there were hundreds of people, like 300, 400, 500 perhaps. And we had the Sunral people there, people representatives from Sunral, and we tried to put this moral issues. And at the end of that meeting, and I spoke to the people there, whoever wanted to listen, Sunral included the representatives from Sunral and the community. I said, we will get nowhere with Sunral unless we take them to a court on legal issues, on issues where a court who's got the authority, a court who's got, will give the verdict on what is the facts that's being placed before them. These people will not stop at listening to moral issues and nice stories and the motivation, the things that we're talking about, the rights of people. We will only stop them when we can take them to a specific court.
Good.
And take the facts. That evening I said it, that's 6 years ago. And we are here today. And I don't know exactly what these specific legal issues or issues will be, even if it's the Constitutional Court. But yes, we are there. We can forget to bring reason to Sunral. They know what is in a toll road. They know it's the goose that lays the golden eggs. It's on the fuel that we pay. It's billions and billions and billions of rands. Where is it going to? It is not being allocated. So I say they are not honest. They are not playing the game. They are not saying what they mean, and they are not meaning what they say. We must take them to court.
We represent the South Business Coalition. It's a group of businesses that are against the toll road. The businesses here have established quite well that there's going to be a significant increase in cost. Ultimately, a lot of the businesses here are service-related businesses, and what tends to happen, this cost is simply just going to be passed over to the consumer at the end of the day. We have calculated for a small business park like ourselves, which got about 2,000–3,000 businesses. The additional on-cost over a 2-year period is about 14 million rand that we're going to pay in toll fees. And so ultimately that cost needs to be passed on to somebody. The likes of Toyota, the likes of Illovo Sugar, the likes of the AECI complex, all those businesses have got trucks moving back and across the Isipingo area. They're going to just continue paying more and more, and they're going to pass the cost on. So inherently all the consumers are going to keep paying for that additional cost. You're going to find the cost coming through the product, coming through everywhere. But to be very clear, as a group of businesses here, we don't want it to happen. We cannot fund the toll road down to the Eastern Cape. And I think it's the same with the civil societies. The primary position of the businesses that we cannot pay for something that we're not going to use. Then there's the social consciousness of business people and environmentalists to say, well, what's going to happen down in the Eastern Cape? And that is something each businessman in his own individual right will decide how they deal with that. But I think from a business perspective, we're just not prepared to support it, and we're prepared to take it to court.
You know, as a Christian, I believe that God, our Heavenly Father, created everything and everybody. And that is such a beautiful part of our country. And these people are just into it for money. That is very clear. And things that are precious can never ever be bought with money. And once those people are in that area mining, they are just going to pollute everything. I mean, the air, the ground, the water, and the people. They are not going to give those people jobs as they are promising. I mean, it's so clear, and it's such a pity that I think there are some people, they believe they're going to get lots of money. And I feel so sorry for them that they are taken for a ride. I don't have money to support this, but I will pray about this very, very hard, because I believe that those people should not be anywhere near the Wild Coast or in the Transkei, especially not Pondoland. Thank you.
Yeah, from our side, I just personally always say I like the court case, and I'm also, being an ex-lawyer, I'm also following the court case. Being lawyers, I mean, we people don't go on the emotional side. That's why we have Ted there. He hammers them in the newspapers and all that. But that one should not become too emotional in this whole thing when it gets out to the nitty-gritty. Because the government wants to see facts, wants to see reasons.
Question I would like to ask is, what is the involvement of the chiefs or the headmen or the tribal leaders in those vicinities? And the second question related to that is, to what extent are they being manipulated?
In terms of your traditional leadership, from the bottommost leader, okay, you have got a family, okay, the father or the mother, the head of the family. Then the next leader is a sub-headman that we call Isibonda. The Zulus call it Induna. So yes, the Indunas. So the sub-headman then reports to, there is another head of sub-headman who is called the headman or Unokazi. And then Unokazi reports to a headman, the headman reports to the chief, and then the chief reports to the king. Okay. Now, what is happening is that our traditional courts, they sit at what we call Gorukulu, the great place, which is the home of the chief or the headman. So in terms of, at all those levels, I'd say 99% of the people in Pondoland are opposed to, including those headmen, the council of the headmen, the council of the chief, to an extent that these, because in Pondoland there is a minority, whether it's a 1% or even a 0.1% that is in favor of the toll road, in favor of the mining. They are, and those are the people who are very much politically connected, and we have chosen to be legally connected so that we can be able to stand up to them. And that's why we are selling these calendars. So all those people, one campaign they have started, for instance, is to challenge our chief, to say our chief must go, must not be a chief anymore. And that court case is in Umtata High Court, and we have approached Richard Spoor to represent our chief pro bono, because we don't have the money to challenge that. They are trying to get rid of him because he has not supported the mining, he has not supported the toll road. Now they are trying to get rid of him, so they are challenging his legality as a chief. Richard Spoor tells us it's an easy case to win. Our king has left his palace in Usigisi and came all the way down to Kolobeni to listen to the people when they were complaining against the mining, and he agreed with the people, and he told the politicians to pack and go and leave the land of Amambondo alone. For that reason, because the king has supported the people in both instances, when the president of the country was announcing the Nkapo Commission results, our king was therefore deposed and was told to stop being a king immediately. When all the other kings were deposed off, they were told that only when they die will the successors would then become senior traditional leaders. But our king was told to stop because politicians were frustrated, because the king and the chiefs were with the people, were standing with the people, not with the politicians. So we have, as a result, when they tried to depose him again, we had to get other lawyers, another law firm, to go to court, and that's the court which the case will be heard in February in the Gauteng North High Court in Pretoria. So what I'm saying is that because they are trying, politicians, they feel very frustrated when they are being opposed in what, because unfortunately we still have politicians who think when they've been voted into power, the ordinary people on the street, their minds cease to reason. They must make all the decisions in Parliament on our behalf. I think that's the kind of the mistake which they make. They believe that every decision they take in Parliament is the right decision. They don't care about what the ordinary people say. That's why you find them pushing even bills that are so contentious despite everything else. We are very excited about the fact that we come from a community where overwhelmingly the majority is opposed to both of these so-called developments. And it is very rare in this country, globally, in all developing countries, to find a community when politicians say we're bringing you jobs. It is very rare to find a poor community that says no to that development. So in this country, unfortunately, politicians are seen as Father Christmas. They must deliver. When Father Christmas delivers to you, you don't have to ask what present. It's a surprise, surprise. You must open the box and accept what's inside. So we still have that Father Christmas kind of scenario, and that needs to change. But the politicians are not aware. They see themselves as Father Christmas. So we therefore have a unique situation where we've got a community that is to an extent that the people who are mining, they are unable to hold a single meeting in public in Gomkulu in our village. They go away to find a place in Bizana, in Port Edward, in Estuary Hotel to hold their meetings because that's a subject that you can't talk about in our community. So we therefore say, in rounding up, given this unique situation that we have, that's why the calendar is making all these various quotes of what the leaders, the elderly people in the community are saying about these proposed developments. And we would like for people to buy a calendar instead, something which they will keep there, be able to showcase and to enjoy, but at the same time helping us to take the government to court, because the lawyers, they tell us that if we take government on this one, we shall win. And we want to make sure that we've got enough resources, because we are not prepared to give up on this one. It is about us, it's about our land, it's about our rights, and they must know that we call shots even if they're in parliament. It's not about them, it's about us when it comes to our land and our resources. Thank you.
Quite pleased that we could see now more or less what actually happening down further south through the Transkei, because we know everything what's going on here and how we're fighting it and why we're fighting it. But now we have a different viewpoint also, perspective on what has happened.